Learn how to replace promise chaining with async await to make our code cleaner and easier to read. In this lesson, we want to look at how we can refactor our code with async await method. Our app currently uses the fetch URL and then return promises with this .then method. However, as applications grow, many .then statements can become difficult to read. Imagine having like 10 or 50 of these. So instead, JavaScript allows us to write asynchronous code that looks like normal step-by-step code using the async and await. With the async and await, the functionality stays the same. It's just the process that we actually want to modify. And that is because our app currently uses promise chaining with the .then method. But we can write this code in a more cleaner way. First, we are going to add the async keyword before the search weather function. So in order to make use of that, so we'll add async here. And then this will now allow us to use the await inside it. And then we'll now use the await for the URL as well. So we'll use the await to fetch our URL and pause until the API responds. And later we can use the await to also attach the response of what is returned from the API to wait until the JSON data has been converted into JavaScript object. So aside from that, the rest of the code will remain exactly the same. So let's quickly do a quick refactoring. So we have async already added to our search weather. We have the city, we have URL. So nothing is changing here. And here, let's assign it to a response like this. So let response equal to await fetch URL. And let's add this. Let data equals to await response.json. So now that we have this, then we can remove this .then method totally. And we have our if statement that goes down here, and we also have the city name and all. So I can take out this as well. Okay, if data, so this comes to this, the city name and everything also comes to what we currently have. Yes. And so if I go ahead now and click on Ghana, okay, I think after the city name or something, you can see our functions still stay the same. But look at how clean it is now to use the async and await. We have successfully eliminated the .then method. So instead of chaining multiple .then method, we simply use async and make our code run underground. And when the result of this call is ready, then this will, when the request is made through this, then this will receive the URL, the response underground. And when it is ready, we just simply pass it to this data. And once it is in the data, then we can now begin to use it just as we add in the previous example. So we can use the data to check. And once we finish checking, we can now even use the data to extract all the parts of the object that is needed outside. So even though we still check whether the city exists, and if it does, we display the information. And the behavior hasn't actually changed. It is only the way that we refactor the code that has changed. Look at this. This is a more cleaner approach to write our, our weather app functionality of making API calls, receiving response, and passing that response to display it on the web page. So here are a few key lessons that we can pick away from this particular refactoring. Number one, the async allows a function to use await. Number two, await pauses execution until a promise finishes. And number three, fetch method still returns a promise. Number four, the response.json method still return a promise. And lastly, the async await makes asynchronous code easier to reach than multiple .then method calls.